Okay, this is a 45-pound Penobscot. It's 45 pounds at 28 inches. I got some 450 grain arrows, so that's pretty much 10 grains per pound. This one is 100 pounds. I have 970 grain arrows, so it's 9.7 grains per pound. This one is 190 pounds at 31 inches. I have some big tips on them. It puts these at 1175 grains, so that's roughly 6.5 grains per pound, somewhere around in there, which is drastically light compared to the 10 grains per pound rule of thumb. So basically this video is going to show you what the difference is in penetration. Even though the 190-pound bow is drastically underweight for arrows, it's still going to show a massive advantage. And you'll see where the difference is between poundage in a 100-pound at 10 grains per pound versus a 45-pound bow at 10 grains per pound. I'm probably going to be all over the place with accuracy because I'm bouncing different arrow weights and different bows around, but it should give you a pretty good idea, if I can hit the bales, what the difference is in penetration. So I'm going to start with the 45-pound bow first, and then move to the 100-pound bow, and then move to the 190-pound bow. I'm going to be shooting 3 arrows of each, and that should give us a pretty good idea of the differences just in poundage alone. That was a 45-pound bow at 10 grains per pound. Accuracy is pretty decent. I'm only shooting at 10 yards just to basically show you the penetration difference. That was the 100-pound bow at 10 grains per pound, roughly 9.75 or so. And as you can see, those went right through the first bale. These all are 31 or 32 inch long arrows, I can't remember which, but the ones that I shoot in the heavier bows, they're weighted to get me up to the grains I need that's adequate for the bow. As you can see, they went through the first bale pretty decently, about halfway into the second bale. If I add weight to these arrows, they will penetrate a little deeper, but then my trajectory goes awry Obviously, the lighter arrows, they go a little faster, fly a little flatter, and the heavier ones are better for close range penetration. I usually try to stick with like 7.5 to 9.5 grains per pound personally in the bows I shoot, because that's where I find the best blend of penetration and trajectory, and it gives me a decent range for hunting and whatnot. So now I'm going to go to the 190 pound at 31-inch bow, and I'll be shooting 1175 grain arrows in that. I'm literally just throwing them, you know, quickly. I'm not trying to like group or anything like that. This is mainly just a penetration difference between the 3 poundages and the various different weights. Obviously at 6.5 grains per pound, the 190 pounder is way underweight for arrow weight. So if I was at the 10 grains per pound, the penetration would be drastically more, but I can pretty much guarantee they're all buried in the yard somewhere. So another reason why I haven't gotten to the 10 grains per pound in the 190 pound bow yet is because finding 1900 grain arrows is pretty difficult. I'll probably end up having to weight them with inserts, or I don't really know, maybe putting some birdshot inside of the arrow shaft itself. They're all weighed down with salt, and then I have heavy tips in them. But that third arrow is probably in the grass somewhere. It's usually where I find them after a couple hours of looking for them. And that's basically the differences in poundages and why poundage actually matters. Not only does it flatten your trajectory, but it allows you to shoot a heavy arrow at nearly the same speed or greater and have the same or a flatter trajectory versus a light poundage bow. I'm not trying to do this to be macho, as some people have commented and whatnot. I'm literally just doing it for research purposes. I typically hunt with a 130 pound bow, and it's very short. It only has a 26-inch draw. And the reason I made it like that is because I hunt more or less ambush style and stalk my animals, so a lot of my shots are quite close. I've shot several different deer at under 5 yards, so I wanted a bow that I could basically hip shoot or shoot at a short draw and be able to still have the poundage and penetration without having the added movement and time that it takes to come to full draw and aiming and all that, you know, everybody wants to have an anchor point and whatever. At really close distances, it's just not necessary if you practice enough. So On longer shots, I would definitely suggest having an anchor point and, you know, a solid form going on. But if I'm taking a longer shot, then I'm gonna take my time and aim. And if I'm taking a really close shot, like some deer I've shot were 3 to 6 feet away, you know, I don't really necessarily worry so much about pinpoint precision. I just want to hit a, you know, 8 or 10 inch diameter circle where the lungs are, and, you know, drive my arrow all the way through is my main focus. These bows were used to hunt elephant and dangerous game, and they are excessive for deer hunting or most North American big game. A lot of people want you to believe that 45 pounds is all you need to shoot anything on the planet, but in reality, that's more like suggesting a 22 being adequate for moose. Even though it can kill the moose, it's not necessarily the best choice if you can draw more poundage. If you can't draw more poundage, then you obviously need to have a very good arrow setup, your bow tuned, and practice a lot in order to have pinpoint precision. And that's about it. I'm gonna end this video. Thanks for watching.